So Alberto, I use groups and components in SketchUp and I mirror a lot. Yeah, why is it that I have to explode all of my model in SketchUp before importing to Lumion? So you can see your materials correctly. You know, that one I can't speak to for sure. I've seen that before. I had like several years ago I had a townhome project and I was component and flipping and mirroring and just going nuts on it. And I did see some things goofing up, but honestly I haven't seen that lately. So one thing with materials is, let's do this. Let me fire up a new SketchUp window. So basically, when a good rule of thumb in SketchUp is that, if I were to make a cube here, I'll make it like say 10 feet by 10 feet, and I'm gonna pull it up by 10 feet, like that. All right, so like if I wanna paint this with a material, then let's say I paint it with aluminum, all right? So the best way to apply materials in SketchUp is to paint them directly on this surface. All right, now what happens with groups and components, if I take this and make it into a group, well, what can happen is if I paint the outside of this container, if I paint this group, I'll use this material. See how it painted everything? So really anything with that default material just took on the material applied to the parent, the outside of the container. So I think I've seen things goof up with that. So what I would suggest is going into your entity info, selecting your groups and your components, make sure that you haven't assigned any material to them. So bring it back to default, and then always make sure that you double click into your group or component, and then you're gonna paint directly onto these surfaces. So that way you get the most predictable behavior out of SketchUp, out of Lumion. And then yeah, if that doesn't help, yeah, it's like explode. That seems, sometimes I've been in a pinch and it's like, let me just archive this model, explode it, render it, and figure it out later. But I haven't seen that issue in quite some time, so.